Master at Large Park Chan-wook is back with No Other Choice, a film that has already picked up multiple awards and in my view comes surprisingly close to another modern South Korean gem called Parasite. So the question remains, is this worth the ticket price?
미국에서는 해고를 도끼질한다고 한다면서요. 한국에선 뭐라 그러는지 아세요? 넌 뭐가지야? 사랑하는 내가 그거 온 마음으로 날 지지한다.
Hey, my name is Alex, and if you are new to the channel, I talk about films in a more conversational way and I try to answer one simple question. Is it worth the cinema ticket price? Or in the case of a TV series, is it worth your time? So let's talk about No Other Choice. I have come to expect greatness from South Korean directors. For example, Bong Joon-ho, who made Parasite, is a film that has made history at the Oscars by winning both Best Film and Best International Film. So the same expectation applies here, to be honest. Park Chan-wook, which is the director of this film, first made waves actually with the classic Old Boy, and then followed by The Handmaiden, which is an absolutely stunning fairy tale of a film, to be honest, both to watch and actually listen to. There's an exceptional soundtrack on it. I have some of those songs put on my favorite playlists. And then they made Decision to Leave, which is again another insightful film. So all of these films are nominated or winners for major awards. So they are really good films, and for good reason, because with No Other Choice, Park Chan-wook continues this run of really impressive films. This time he's tackling a bit more of a contemporary subject that somehow feels timeless. At its core, the film is about essentially the consequences of progress. I've never gone wrong with one of these films, to be honest, so I strongly recommend this in cinemas or renting it when it comes on any of the streaming services. It's absolutely worth the ticket price. Well, we follow Man-soo, who is a factory worker who appears to have a near perfect life. His 25-year career supports a very comfortable lifestyle for him and his family. His wife, Miri, was at-home wife. He's got two children around 7 and 12 years old, two beautiful house, a big massive house, and two dogs, two cars, and even time for some weird hobbies or two. But again, we are introduced to this almost like a lifestyle channel type of family and living style. But let's remember, this is a film by director of The Old Boy. So when Man-soo's printing company is taken over by a competitor and he's made redundant, his entire way of life, this picture-perfect life, is threatened, obviously. And him being the sole breadwinner in the household, he needs to do something about it. And that company takeover leaves just one major printing company in town. So when Man-soo discovers that they're recruiting for a senior management role, he realizes that there are only a handful of candidates who could actually realistically compete for the position. So from there, he sets out to literally, and I mean literally, eliminate his competition one by one, hoping that that will leave the company that is recruiting, they will leave him with no other option but to choose him. So Man-soo is not your typical violent, or doesn't have anything dangerous in him, to be honest. He has no murderous instincts or anything, but desperation of his situation pushes him to make decisions he would never considered otherwise. He has literally no other choice but to resort to odd ways, even murder, to survive. Now the premise is pretty brilliant, as expecting the writer is really good, but it's just the tip of the iceberg, let's call it. This is a really sharp critique of capitalism, its long-term impacts on society, from automation to globalization to generational displacement. Talented, loyal people are left behind, and technology and the economic systems move on without them, essentially. And that's what this film does. It does not just talk about, even though the characters in the film talk about these themes, but it also shows the consequences of these type of times. What makes this film darkly funny and deeply affecting, actually, is that we experience all of this through Mansu's family. This type of sudden, almost like godlike intervention in their lives, completely turns their life upside down. We slowly watch all of the family, each member, push into a quiet state of despair, and eventually forcing every single one of them, not just the father, every single one of them, forcing them to make extreme choices just to survive. And watching this was a genuine treat, not only because of this layered social commentary, but the craft of making the film is really good. So the direction, the cinematography, the performances, they're all operating at a really high level, but they're almost like completing each other, from the performances to the music to the blocking of the scene to everything is it just adds to the story, adds to the message, elevates the message. Essentially, you will get those symbolic shots that, perfect family gathering together, like a picture perfect, but there are clouds in the back coming, symbolizing a storm that is coming. You get scenes with muted dialogue. You get scenes with unexpected violence. This is exactly what you expect from this director. Is actually a step above Old Boy, I would say, in my view. And one of the reasons is also the cinematography. So Park Chan-wook worked with cinematographer, I believe, I can't remember his name. I'll put it in the below. But they worked together on The Little Drummer Girl, which is a TV series that is not as much seen, but it's a very good TV series. And that had some striking visuals, same as here, with a perfect blocking. There are moments where in this film where Mansu is in the foreground of the frame, and in the background he's doing something in the foreground, but what happens in the background reveals even more, something more important and a different message, and is unsettling sometimes, and it just intensifies the scene of what Mansu is doing. And the acting is outstanding also, so he's not going to pick up any actors. Mansu as a character is an intelligent, he's introverted man, but he's very intelligent. He's fiercely loyal to his family, but he's obviously forced to operate outside his comfort zone. So Lee Byung-hun, I believe his name is, has been in, we've seen him in Squid Game, and he was fantastic in that one. But this in here, he plays this role very, very restrained, but very consistent. He never betrays the character's core, even though, this is a man that has to cross several moral lines, that he will never be able to return from those decisions. But the actor plays him consistently the same as this introvert man that is literally pushed into a crazy situation that he has to, crazy decision that he has to make. It's overall, it's perfectly crafted. This film is an excellent film, and I would expect it to be nominated for Best International Feature, probably at the Oscars, with a very strong chance of winning. I still have a few more films to see for that category, so I will report back as I see them, but make sure to subscribe so you don't miss those reviews. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.